Hey guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. I'm going to show you a full face tutorial today using 3 color eyeshadows. Alright, we're going to set or prep her skin with the classic Makeup USA face primer gently over her face and evenly. Then a spoolie from Huda Beauty Cosmetics to brush up her brows and make it neat. Then a foundation from Kiss Beauty, which I'm going to write the shade in the description box, all over her face, then blending it out with a foundation brush neatly and evenly, then concealing the highlighted areas using L Pro concealer. I'm contouring her face, including her forehead because she has a diamond face. Then I'm blending out with a damp beauty blender from Huda Beauty Cosmetics to make sure it's neat and it's not creasing. Then I'm setting out with ADS banana powder and a blending sponge. Then I'm taking this shade Cocoa from Becham Ageless with a flat brush to contour her nose and her face. Alright, we're going over her nose using a flat brush from the head of her brows down to the tip of her nose using the edge of the flat brush carefully from the head of the brow down to the tip of her nose. All right, then there we go. Okay, blending still. Then I'm using the Huda Beauty contour brush to contour her cheekbone and the whole of her face, including her forehead. Ensure it's contoured evenly, still with the cocoa shade from Becham Ageless Cosmetics. Yeah, so then I'm picking up 2 shades from the powder palette Gunflower and using the powder brush from Huda Beauty to set up her face to avoid creasing. Make sure it's even. Alright, I'm picking up this brow pencil from Davis and lining and making the strokes on her brows. I'm going to do a detailed tutorial on that. Then a concealer from Me Color, which I used earlier to conceal the under eye or highlight the under eye rather. Then an angle brush from Huda Beauty Cosmetics down to where I will use her transition. Then I'm going to use the spoolie to clean out the brows to make sure it's neat and it doesn't get rough. Alright, then a damp beauty blender from Huda Beauty Cosmetics to clean out the underbrow. Make sure it doesn't crease out and it's not rough. Then the hash lines from the concealer, blending out evenly and simultaneously. Alright, there we go. Then I'm going to use a sponge, which I've used earlier on, to set up her forehead again. Alright, to make sure it's neat. Then I'm going over her transition shade with the doll face from the Blossom and the brush from Zoeva, which I'm going to write down in the description box. Blending out evenly. Then I'm using this eye primer from Fayre Gold Cosmetics and the angle brush from Huda Beauty Cosmetics to cut her crease neatly. I'm going over the first color with the Everbeauty eyeshadow palette using the first shade. Then I'm going to pick up the Fling shade from the Blossom Cosmetics as my second color, blending it out evenly with the Zoeva blending brush. Make sure there are no harsh lines. Then I'm going to pick up the doll face shade from the same palette as my inner corner color. Then blending out the transition again. Make sure there are no harsh colors. Then this is a gel liner from ADS. It came with a brush. I'm using it to line her lid carefully. Then I'm dusting off the excess powder with the Huda Beauty brush. Picking the lightest shade from the powder palette and the same flat brush I used earlier on to contour her nose, I'm setting out her underbrow to avoid creasing. Then I'm going to line her waterline with the same gel liner from ADS. Then picking up the bronzer from the palette, I'm rubbing it up her cupid's bow using the Davis lip pencil to line out her mouth. Make sure it's clean and even. Picking up the classic Makeup USA lipstick in the shade VIP and NYX. With a Huda Beauty lip brush, I'm lining out her lips and getting the orange shade into the middle and blending out evenly. Then I'm setting up her face with the Kiss Beauty setting spray. Then I'm picking up the powder brush from LTS to push it in case of a rough splash. Then I'm using the tip of my finger to bronze her nose, including the tip and the bridge. Then I'm bronzing her cheekbones, her chin, and her forehead. Picking up the powder again from the palette, I'm setting it out. Then I'm going to apply the lashes off camera, which I'm going to write the details in the description box. Then a mascara from VIP. Make sure it's even. I'm recontouring her face because I want it to look sharp, using the Urban Decay contour brush because the Huda Beauty didn't give me what I wanted. Then I'm using the olive oil edge control to set the edges in place. Then we're going to the turban. All right, you're going to pick it up neatly, 70 by 30. You pick the 70 over her head, then the 30 with a knot, making sure it's not too tight on the model and setting the edges right. Then picking up the 70 to the middle of her head, you use office pins to pin them down carefully without hurting your hands, without hurting your model, and making sure the pins are in place so that it doesn't fall off. Have to be very, very careful doing this. All right, there we go. You're going to pick the head tie by folding. I'm going to do a detailed tutorial on this so that you see it clearly. Picking up the pins again and making sure everything is in place. My folds are neat and the pins are neatly fixed. Right, I'm still pinning down. As you can see, the 30 it's still remaining, so I'm folding it down towards the back of her head and making it fixed at the back of her head. All right, then I'm going to pin the last fold. All right, there we go. All right, ta-da! We are done. Now this is the final look on our model. If you love it, don't forget to like, subscribe, comment, and turn on the notification. Love you. See you